Hello, I'm Dan Naylor, your fellow student in 701 Historical Professions, and it's 29th October 2025. We're going to be talking about the Normandy campaign. This is the Brodie helmet used by British Empire forces, and here's a representation of the M1 standard helmet used by American forces. Two helmets, two entities. The British Army and the American Army in this campaign were the same size, same location, same weather conditions, same protective dome of air power over them, over a nonetheless rather capable German army. This offers historians a unique military case study in which dependent variables were held constant through a 3-month campaign. My first source is the Battle of Normandy, the lingering controversy. There's an even split in sources in this book chapter in JSTOR between really solid secondary sources and primary sources from primarily, if you will, senior officers. The methodology is descriptive. Power's article describes controversies between the Allies' senior officers, all of whom were prolific writers well after the war. The conclusion is that the controversy won't go away. My take on this is that if there's smoke, there's fire. Controversy indicates that an imaginative dissertation could contribute to history by settling matters hitherto ignored. Second source, a report from Air University Press in JSTOR, the Normandy campaign, turning the vertical flank air power as maneuver forces in the theater campaign, again back to air power. This author quoted official sources such as the Air Force Daily Mission logs. It's descriptive analysis, again primary and secondary sources in a really nice mix. The Allied Air Forces suppressed the German forces, and they did a great job in it. The Germans could not move except at night in poor weather. I agree, this is correct. But the author says the German situation was hopeless. If air power were so predominant, how is it that the Germans, 165,000 Germans, escaped the Falaise pocket? Third source, Allied landing at Anzio. This is a comparison of the Allied landing at Anzio in Italy earlier in the same year, presented here using reliable second sources, journals, and input from such German commanders as the highly respected Kesselring, for a Nazi anyway. The content is a full description of political and military events. The Anzio landing's near failure was due to poor performance by Allied leadership. I include this article to try to juxtapose Anzio with Normandy and learn a few lessons, see what's going on. Fourth source is an article in JSTOR, a geographical review. Geographical factors in the invasion and Battle of Normandy. Descriptive maps are the sources. Absolutely fantastic. Roads, railways, soil, weather, if you're into that sort of thing. The author's method is descriptive. Any expert who uses maps to make many point. Treasure trove of geography. You cannot understand Normandy without this. The weakness of the article is the Allies had to learn most of these geographical facts during the battle instead of before the battle, which sets me up for my conclusion. The defensible Norman terrain assisted the Germans and retarded the Allies, as did the extensive experience of the German armies. But historians have missed certain factors. The troops, in my opinion, weren't trained very well. The ground troops, that is, were inadequately trained. Allied air forces were initially disorganized, and top command leadership failed to close the Falaise gap and produce a cannae victory, a double envelopment. What a shame.